Hey, what's up, guys? We are here with the first Heart of the Matter session. Man, I am truly excited. And really, we want to just take this session to just let you guys know who we are and what we're about. And so first, we're just going to go around the horn and just kind of tell you, who we are and our background and talk a little bit about our passion. So at the end of this session, you have an idea of, man, who are those three guys, right? And so I guess we'll start off. Dr. Jeff Springer, let's go with who are you?
You know, you know, uh, Chip, that seems like an easy question until somebody asks you that question, because we want to be deep, we got to go deep, we got to think, we got to give that deep answer. But, oh man, who am I? I'm a teacher. I'm a coach. I'm a dad. I'm a husband, and I'm an encourager, and I love Chip. I love developing people. I love so it goes back to that coaching thing. I said I was a teacher. I'm a better coach than I am a teacher. But you gotta be, to be a good coach, you gotta do a little teaching too. So man, I love people, and I'm just excited about being on this with my new brothers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So good. Dre Tavius Parham. Who are you?
Man, let me first start off by saying I'm really excited to be here with you guys, and just I don't know, man. I've been thinking about this all day. And you sent out the question, "Who are you, man?" And honestly, I was trying, I was preparing for my answer, and I didn't want to think too deep about it. But when I came to a conclusion of who am I think I am an educator, an advocate for mental health and spreading social emotional learning awareness, for kids and teachers. But most of all, I think I'm a man of adding value. So I want to add value in every aspect of my life: relationships, friendships, the people I meet, the people that I come across to and connect with. I want to make sure that I'm adding as much value, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. So pouring from a full cup and not an empty cup. So if I can sum it down to one word, I would say a man of value.
Mm. I love it, Dre. Good stuff, man. Well, myself, I am Chip Baker. I'm a fourth generation educator, teacher, former coach. An educator, speaker, YouTuber, podcaster, best-selling author. And so it's awesome, kind of like Dre said, as far as adding value, I resonate with that because my mission is to help people to help people. Right. And so that's a little bit about who I am, and truly grateful to be a part of this group, the Heart of the Matter, because I truly think it's, I was going to say three amazing men, two amazing men, and one guy striving to be the best version of himself. Right. And so I think it's awesome that we're doing this. And so what I'd like to do now is just, have each of you guys talk about your background. And so we'll start with you, Doc. If you don't mind, tell us a little bit about your background.
Gosh. Hey, first of all, Chip, I got to tell you that once a teacher, once a coach, always.
Yes, sir.
You never lose that. And, in everything you do. So whether you're being the dad or you're, facilitating, like you said, both of you guys, that's why I think I was drawn to both you guys, is because your desire to make a difference, to add value. So which you guys have already done in my life in a short period of time. So I'm excited about I'm just happy to be along for the ride. I mean, so two young men and this old dude, so we're going to have a lot of fun. But my background, 34 years in public education, and I've never, but I've never done one thing. I've always done, I don't know if there's a word, if they say, if I know there's bivocational, but I'm kind of like trivocational. I mean, I don't just even do two things. And so, so I was in the ministry as well, which we know public education is a ministry. But as a high school principal, I was also part-time on staff at a church and minister of men. And so doing that, also nonprofit world, encouraging dads to be the spiritual leader in their family. And so multiple things, multiple plates spinning, had lots of people in my life that were influences on my life where I ended up in education and coaching. And, I was thinking about, some people, I coached football, and of course, yesterday was a big day in professional football as we wind down another season. And, people say, it's just a game. And I think about, yeah, you're right. It is just a game, but it's a game that had changed my life. I mean, I wouldn't through the lessons. And so my background of sports and athletics, being around coaches and that have mentored me, have really given me, kind of the basis for or the impetus for me to be that coach in other people's lives, and like you, both of you, to add value to people that cross our paths. So again, now repurposed. I've been out of education for 7 years full time, but now again, working for university, doing some consulting, educational consulting, and then again, still in my nonprofit Suit Up Ministry. So that's a little bit about my background. I'm a grandpa, and that is, if I could make a living being a grandpa, that's probably all I would do, gentlemen. But anyway, I'm just blessed and honored to be again on this panel and in this group. I know that as we grow together on literally in front of people, because I don't know, our listeners are going to find this out, but the three of us are fairly new to each other. So we're going to be learning about we're doing this as much for ourselves as we are, I'm sure, hopefully the millions of people that will be listening.
There you go. Yes, sir. Well, Dre, what about you? What about your background? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Oh man, so a little bit about me. Grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. I went through a lot of bullying growing up, man, and I went through the special education system in school. I was put into IEP classes, and I just went through a lot of hurt and a lot of pain. And I had an educator that kind of stepped into my life. Well, not kind of, but he stepped into my life, and he really made a difference, and he really made an impact. And it switched my perspective on life. I said, man, I got to change. And I wanted to be a part of something special, just because of the church community I was a part of. And that educator was connected to that church community. But then something tragic did happen. A few years later, I was, pursuing a higher education. I was really, my head was on straight. But then my mother passed away in 2015. So I went through a deep, deep hole of depression. And man, I dropped out of college. I was really going through it, and I had to get a lot of therapy. I had to talk about it a lot, cry a lot. I really, really went through it. And still to this day, I still battle with that. I've matured a lot, but it's still a everyday battle knowing that my mom is not here. But which leads me to being the creator of the Schoolhouse podcast. And most people now call me Mr. Schoolhouse. So that's who I am, and that's my background, man. And now I'm in school to be a school psychologist.
That's awesome, Trey.
Well, Mr. Schoolhouse, that is amazing. Let me tell you that. That's so good, man. And I'm grateful like Doc has said, I'm so grateful that the big man has allowed us all three to cross paths. Because I think, yes, we will add value to lots, like Doc said, but also I wholeheartedly believe that we will grow together and learn so much from one another, like I have already. We ain't even scratched the surface, right? But a little bit about my background. I'm a fourth generation educator. I come from a family of church folk and educators. And so, church folk, down south, that mean, no S, that mean it was a lot. So we were in church a lot because my mother was the minister of music in our churches. And so truly, truly grateful to be raised, single parent mom that was a strict disciplinarian. She didn't play. Had us involved in lots, played 4 sports for 4 years in high school, played college football at West Texas A&M University, came to Conroe Independent School District out of college, worked at a couple, junior high for a little bit and then went into high school. I was offensive line coach and head powerlifting coach at Conroe High School for a while, and got an opportunity to go to my hometown and be head coach, athletic director for a couple years. That was a great experience. Learned a lot, was grateful to go back to my hometown to pour into the place that made me what I am. Then did that for 2 years and then came back to Conroe Independent School District to Oak Ridge High School, where I continued to coach for 4 more years. And now I've been out of coaching for 4 years. So in my 24th year of education, I coached for 20 of those years. Started my YouTube channel and podcast, The Success Chronicles, about 8 years ago. And what I do is I just interview people from all walks of life and share their stories for positive inspiration and motivation. Truly been a blessing. I've connected with some amazing people, which is how I connected with you guys. And then, about 5 years ago, started writing books. I became an author. To the date, I've published 13 books, have the Impact of Influence book series. We have 5 volumes of that, where it's just influencers sharing their story of someone or something that's influenced them, what they learned from that, and how they're using those blessings from the lessons to make a positive difference in our world. And so that's where I am now in my life. And I'm truly grateful for every ounce of it. I don't take any of it for granted. I'm just striving every day to go get it. Go get it. Well, that's a little bit about my background. But now I just want us to get into our heart and our passion. We shared a little bit about who we are. We talked about our background, being that this is, the heart of the matter. I just want, each of you guys to just talk about, where your heart and where your passion is, so that people have an idea of, man, that guy's passionate. Why are we passionate about those certain things? So Doc, we'll go with you again.
Okay. Well, I hope that they see and they hear. There's no doubt that what our conversation is contagious. That we move people, and that they see that our heart is that. We're gonna, I'm sure there'll be times where we do some banter in these conversations, but our heart is that we care for people, that we love people. And again, part of our, I guess our vision for this group again is to make a difference, and as you guys have both said very well, how important it is to add value in the people that God puts in our paths. So, and I hope that they've already seen some of our passion. They could we've kind of touched on that. It's kind of hard not to infuse that in who we are and what our background is, because all of that kind of, it kind of builds up to a head, to points to what is most important to us. But I tell people my biggest, we all know people that we'd love to just see one drop of passion, just show me something, but my issue is sometimes I have to narrow it down, and they all overlap, so to speak. But I have this yearning and this passion for men's ministry and for the development of men in particular to be the dad that God's called them to be. We're in a crisis right now with absentee fathers, and almost every socio in America can be drawn back to the absence of a father. So the reinstatement of the role of the dad, the emphasis of that role, to stand side by side with the mom, to stand in that gap is so important to me. And that's really how Suit Up Ministries, the nonprofit that I alluded to earlier, that that I'm a part of and proud to be the founder of. And I haven't written 13 books, but I've written one, and I got one published just recently, and it's about dads. It's encouraging dads. It's called Dad Prep. And so I don't think there's going to be 12 more, Chip. I'm sorry. But I will tell you that I guess I'm a late bloomer because, I didn't get my doctorate until I was 60, and I didn't write a book till I was 63. So all of you young guys that think that you got to, that it's, your life is, if you don't achieve something by the time you're 30 or 25 or whatever, that, oh my gosh, your life is just beginning. I used to say that Mother Teresa was kind of my hero because she really didn't get started till she was in her 80s. And I've got, even as old as I am, I got a ways to go before I get there. So I got a long way. I tell people I was getting ready when I repurposed at age 57 from education, that I was getting ready for my roaring 60s, that I was going to have a decade of excellence. And so, I'm only 3.5 years into that. So I'm excited about what's next. And again, so many passions for people, passions for play, passions for, again, encouraging people to be their very best that they possibly can. And that's why I do a lot of executive coaching. I love to figure out what it is that makes people tick. Why is it? What moves them? What gets them out of bed in the morning? And how can we maximize their potential? So Chip, that's just a part of my passion. But and I'm sure each week as we get together and we talk more, we'll all unpack what makes us get out of bed in the morning.
Yes, sir. Dre, what about you, man? Where's your heart, and what's your passion? You're on mute, brother.
I said, Jeff, you really look good for your age, man. You really look good. But no, for my passion, if I can say anything, is to serve and help people. But as I've grown and got older, now I realize what does that look like practically for me in real time. And so I'm passionate about providing hope and inspiration to educators, everyone, of course. But if we want to get really specific, that really drives me, that really motivates me, that really just gets me going to get through adversity or when I feel uncomfortable, it's to inspire educators. It's to inspire students, and inspire students specifically in urban communities, because I see what they're going through, and I see myself in them. And I say, if I can just provide a little bit of hope, a little bit of inspiration, or maybe to help them with their mental health, then they'll be the best that they can be, and they don't have to be a product of their environment. And I'll say this: I knew that I was really passionate about this. I remember one time that I had spoke at my school, and everybody was like, man, he's about to get up here, start preaching. Oh my gosh. Like, they was like, man, this is about to be boring. Because at the time, I was like really, really going hard for Christ. Like, everybody knew that about me before my mom had passed. I was like really everybody knew me on campus, and that's what I stood for. So they thought I was going to get up there and start preaching. But I got up there. I did share about God, but I shared my story. I just shared it. I just came straight from the heart, and people were moved and in tears. And I remember when someone had, we was trying to set up an event for on campus for college, on my college campus, and she was like, "Yeah, we'll love to set up an event, like a whole banquet." I was like, "Oh, this is my time." I had got my suit, my blazer, man. I was fresh. I was so excited. And then I called her the day of, and she counseled on me. Oh man, I was so heartbroken. I was like, man, I was heartbroken. I was so excited to motivate college students and get us in the same room. But that's when I knew right then and there, this is my heart and this is what I love to do. And I'm not going to let anything or any situation that makes me feel uncomfortable or what I encounter prevent me from pursuing what I love, because I know it's deep down in my heart and it wakes me up. It keeps me going. That's why I'm still in school. Honestly, some classes I hate. I truly hate. Like my biology class, I hate it. I hate it so bad. But I know the end result of if I keep going, if I keep persevering, I can tell a youngster or somebody that's younger than me that looks like me, hey, I hated school, but look, I got a bachelor's. I got the master's, so you don't have an excuse as to why you can't execute. So if I would say anything, it's definitely adding value, but specifically speaking to educators and scholars, students. And everybody's a scholar in my book. Everybody. Doesn't matter what background they come from. They all are scholars. So
I love it, Dre, man. So good. Good stuff right there. And a lot of times our stories, like, we get caught up in the, researching and providing and trying to make sure we have this grandiose presentation, but really they just need to hear our story and like you show them, hey, I'm the evidence and the research that great things can happen. All right. And so myself, my heart and my passion, I take care of people who take care of people, and I strive to do that by providing a heightened sense of awareness of who they are and how their experiences can help them make our world better. I'm a natural teacher. I strive to teach people, that, they can help others just based on their life experiences, their experiences, their environments, their relationships, their actions. The big man made us all a one of one, and you are enough, right? You don't need anything else. Like, wait, you are a one of one. Like there's nobody else in the world like you, right? And so in knowing that, that's all you need to know, right? Now take what he's giving you and use that to be a blessing to others. And so that's my heart. That's my passion. I strive to touch, all ages. I want to make sure that when I leave this place that I'm tapped out, man. I want to make sure I've done everything I could do to make a positive difference in this world. And really, that's my heart and that's my passion. And so, I love for us to have the opportunity as we close and wrap up. I'd love for us to go around the horn again and, share our social media so that people can see where they can follow us, because like, each one of us are doing pretty great things to pour into others and add value. And I love for everybody to follow, each of us and show some love. But man, this is gonna be, I believe that this is gonna be, oh man, explosive, right? I believe that this is gonna be amazing when we come together and do our thing. So Doc, if you don't mind sharing with the audience, your social media and kind of, a little wrap up, and then I'll go to you next, Dre, and then I'll close us out.
Yeah, well, Chip, I have, again, I have two websites that people can, if they're interested, if people listening are interested in, the nonprofit that I talked about, Suit Up Ministries, it's just literally, it's suitupministries.org. Just like you put on a suit, SUITUP ministry plural.org, suitupministries.org. And if you're interested in the educational aspect, right, some executive coaching, there's links for masterminds and other resources. It's playmoretoday.org. And so those would be two quick resources. And, I'd love for any of our listeners to check it out. Either one of those. And I know that we'll have show notes and things like that too, that they'll be able to access, and hopefully they'll be with us again next time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dre, what about yourself, man? Just share with them where they can go follow you and check you out, and some closing words.
So you guys can follow me at the Schoolhouse Podcast on Instagram, and my name, you can actually follow me on Facebook as well. It's my first name, last name. That's DRETAVIUSPARHAM. And if I can say any closing words, man, I will say, if you really have the heart and it's something that you really, really love, and you know that you love it, go for it. Go for it with all your heart, life, with no regrets, because tomorrow isn't promised. Tomorrow isn't promised. So push to be your best self.
Awesome. Good deal. Well, myself, I am all of my social media is at Chip Baker TSC, as in the Success Chronicles, except for Twitter, it's Chip Baker 19, and I'm all on all of the social media platforms. I don't want it to be any excuse for you not to get this positive inspiration and motivation. So I'm on all of the platforms. I ask that you go check that out. If you see something you like, I know that it's bigger than me. I'm not going to say like, follow, subscribe. I'm not going to say all of that. I'm just going to ask that you share with somebody that you love and care about, so we can help make our world be better. And so as we close, I just want to say, thank you guys for allowing me to be a part of this Heart of the Matter series. I'm really looking forward to, like I said earlier, to us learning and growing together. And audience, thank you for checking this session out, as well as the upcoming session. So the Heart of the Matter series, 3 men, 3 generations, 3 stories, 1 heart coming together with the desire to be the difference. We'll see you next time, guys. God bless.